Well, hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, everywhere there's going to be a live clip of this or even a live show of this. Not a live clip, you know what I mean. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody, and welcome to the show, as the title says. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, The Art of Monty Anderson. Hopefully, you all are doing great and well out there. And if not, I'm sorry. It does suck. I know people have been sick. I know the bug has been going around uh, X amount of days for several people. Setting off the cat ball just in case. See if we catch any spook spirits or ghosties that want to talk. Yes, I live in a haunted house. If you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you. I live here. I know what happens. All right. So, last show, we talked about all kinds of different cool stuff. We're going to talk about some more cool stuff today. We talk about horror movies, sci fi movies, comic books, comic book artwork, comic book movies, my artwork, my comic book artwork, and so on and so forth. So, if you're not into that type of thing, I guess keep on moving. I don't know what to tell you because that's what we do here. Hello, Casey. Welcome to the booth. How are you this morning? You got your coffee in hand? You got your poop water in hand? That's the question. What's up, love? Welcome to the show. Are you still on the recovery side of things? And I hope so. I do, strong and black. Good, good, good. It's what we like to hear. Roy might make an appearance. I don't know. He's uh he's pouting in his mayo for whatever reason, which he likes to do on a regular basis. And Casey, you know what I'm talking about. You were showing me some of them videos with the peanut butter, but his is with mayo. So there you go. I did find some of the stuff we were talking about. Um, of course, you know nothing. I did find some things I was talking about on the last show. The Bob Hope autograph and things of that nature. I've got the girlfriend's tattoo in here as well as it was supposed to be, and how the person butchered it. I need to get a picture of how the person butchered it up, so that everybody knows not to go to that person here in Arkansas. Now, I'm not saying that she possibly doesn't do other good work, but she totally butchered this piece. You know, the tattoo that was supposed to happen. She totally destroyed it. So, um, yeah, just find you a good tattoo artist and not one that wants to change everything. You know, from what it was supposed to be to where it went. Oh, I gotta take these off for a second. I don't know if you can still hear me for that far away. But this is how big the tattoo was supposed to be on her arm. You got to realize she's 5'11", so she's almost 6 foot tall. You know, so her wingspan is almost my wingspan when it comes to arm length. I'm 6'2". But this is what the tattoo was supposed to look like on her arm. You see the Bigfoot up here. You see the UFO over here. You got the alien peeking around right here. You got bats. You got eagles. It was a majestic looking piece, all the way down to the tarantula and scorpion down on the hand. Excuse me. So she took this massive, beautiful piece with all these lovely animals on it and put it into a size of this section right here. From here to here. Right there. That's all. That's it. Right there. Boom. A total of a total of what? 7 inches, 7 total inches for the tattoo. When it is literally this size right here, from shoulder to knuckles. Shoulder to knuckles is this piece, is how big it was supposed to be on her arm. But the tattoo artist felt it was best to do it in 7 inches. Now, hi, ballerina. Welcome to the show. And when it came to, I'm trying to find one of the pieces that she totally butchered up. The bobcat looks like total dog shit. The Bigfoot looks horrible. The eagle looks halfway decent. I will give her that. But you can't tell what half of the rest of this stuff is that she was muddling through down here. I mean, you've got a mole, you got a raccoon, you've got, of course, a tarantula, the scorpion, the armadillo. You could barely make out what that was. The weasel over here didn't look like a fucking weasel. The deer didn't look like a deer. The elk, barely. The fox, definitely not. The bear started looking like some creature from the Black Lagoon type of thing going on. The chipmunks and the squirrel, everything was horrible because you took a 2.5 foot piece, if you will, and put it into 7 inches. So just be mindful of who does your tattoos. And granted, the stuff that she showed me that could have all been a lie on the website and all that good stuff, the Instagram and stuff like that, is decent work. But then for her to know best and take 2.5 feet of artwork and push it into 7 inches and then butcher it, and the money that she paid out for it, I'd be better business bureauing and getting my money back and everything else. But she's just going to do a cover up, and there's people that can do this work over that top of that, because there is enough saving space. But she's still thinking about doing a full blackout tattoo on that shoulder, and then putting in some like white flowers in there and stuff like that. But yeah, that is the debacle that she ended up getting. And like I said, I need to get a picture of the other one so that you guys can see, what this tattooist did to her. And welcome to the broadcast booth finally, Roy. Did you put your mayo away safely back in the fridge? So yeah, there's that. There's that note. And we could do a whole show on tattoos. And I haven't looked up that one that you wanted me to look up yet. I still have it sitting here. That face tattoo that you wanted me to look up, Casey. I haven't looked that one up. And I apologize. I know I have time. I've had time. No, I haven't. Because not too long after we finished up the live show on that day, did artwork, had lunch with a girlfriend, got ready to go to the gym, and then got right there. And we went on and got home, did a bunch of chores, and then basically went to bed later on. And then from there, got up to do it again the next day. So I will look that up. I still have it sitting right here, right in front of me, so I can look it up. And Roy, I can't say what I want to say on here, but just because I would definitely get a violation. So, so just know you're safe for the moment. But we do know what you do with that mayo. You know, it does have that weird little hole in it. So there you go. And that's disgusting, by the way. But some people out there might like that. So you might end up with a, Tinder date or something. I don't know. I gotta change that water out. All right, so I've been doing a bunch of inking on this comic book. We already showed you page one in its partial ink stage, right there. That was the last title, which was Slinging Ink. Today is Welcome to the Show, and this is page two right there. It's coming along quite nicely, quite nicely. As I go, I add a lot of details from the original work. It's very basic, very unflattering, if you will. But as I go along, I add in a bunch more detail to it all. I just use it on myself and sometimes sandwiches. And I like the feel of Miracle Whip. Um, we know, Roy. We know. We get it, dude. You have a love for Miracle Whip, and it's an unhealthy, weird love for Miracle Whip. It's the stuff they put on serial killer channels and stuff like that, documentaries. I do have a whole slew of new. Speaking of movies to watch, a whole slew. Some of them might just be slow burns, but some of them could be really good. I don't know. I got two full lists of horror movies to watch. Some are on YouTube, some are on Tubi, some are on Prime. Those type things. But I keep a running list whenever somebody starts talking about it. I need a Brillo pad and Ajax now. Well, I'm sure Roy has some Brillo pads. Those probably have a weird small hole in them too. But enough about that. All right, so but yeah, a whole new list. Every time I see some on TikTok that the horror crew that I follow recommend, I go ahead and check them out because there are some good ones. But then there's some that I'm just like, how in the world did this even scare you? Period. Um, One guy was talking about Trauma on Tubi. Oh, it was a girl, and she said she couldn't even make it past the first 5 minutes of Trauma on Tubi. So the other guy he was talking about Visceral 2012 on YouTube, Between the Ropes of Madness. Um, he said that one was pretty disturbing. So I'll definitely be checking that out. If anybody says it's too disturbing, to watch and those type things, especially from an older movie, then you know, I have to go check it out. Because if they're saying that it's scary and spooky and they couldn't make it through it, or they had to turn away and it was very you know out there and all this other stuff, I've got to watch it myself because I've seen some out there movies, and then some people say that they're out there movies, and it's just like, how? Please repeat the second film. It's called Visceral from 2012, Between the Ropes of Madness, and it's supposedly on YouTube, which means if you don't have a paid subscription like Roy, then you'll have ads to watch in it for a full movie. I believe that's how it works on there. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't watched a full movie. I've only watched short movies and things like that. That's where I found all the Art the Clown movies. The Ninth Gate, All How no, what? Yeah, All Hallows Eve for the first time. I own the movie for All Hallows Eve now, um, but the Ninth Gate is out there on YouTube to watch as well. And I know a lot of people don't like Art the Clown and Terrifier series and things like that because they're like, oh, it's just so stupid and everything like that. I mean, it is. There are stupid parts in it, yes, but that's what makes it fun. It is a completely different film genre out there for horror. Um, when it comes down to it, it's a great imagining, if you will. Supernatural meets supernatural meets horror. I mean, is what it is. And I mean, it's kind of like with Friday the 13th because Jason is an undead being, supernatural strength, all this stuff, you know, which makes it over the top, whenever you're watching that type of stuff. Some of the movies you have to rent or buy as well. Absolutely, yes. And it's just like any other streaming platform. They have movies that you can rent or you can purchase to keep you for forever. Um, because you can buy pretty much any movie you want. You can buy the stuff that's out in theaters right now. Now there's some that only will show in theaters, period, and you don't have the option to rent them or buy them, on the streaming services or platforms until they're released to DVD. And then once they're released to DVD, then you have that option to go ahead and rent or buy at that point in time. I mean, it's just like anything else. Um, that's why Redbox is no longer around here anyway. They've closed pretty much everything up. I don't know if they've closed them up everywhere, but for the most part, I know everything is closed up here. Um, as far as Redbox go, I mean, hell, I think there's only like one Blockbuster left in the world. I don't even know where it is, but all of them around here have closed down. That's for sure. And you see that a lot anymore since the that was a moth. Don't worry about that. Since the creation of the streaming device, all of your video stores and things like that have gone by the wayside, except for vintage stock. Vintage stock, we need to talk. Half your damn store is nothing but DVDs, and nobody wants that shit anymore. So you need to just do a dollar sale on everything and just get it over with. Um, and that's the bad part about vintage stock is that 80% of their store is nothing but DVDs. And it's just like, why? If I want the movie, I will go find it on the streaming service. If I have to pay $2.99 for it instead of your $6 price, at the store, I'll do that. Now, if I seriously want a physical copy of it, like I do some movies, I've got physical copies of certain movies that I love and adore, from horror to sci-fi to other movies in there. Then I will get it. I will find it. I will find me a pristine copy, one that's never been used, never been watched, all that good stuff, on eBay or Macari or even out there on Amazon, because you still can find some brand new movies out there on Amazon. Like The Last Unicorn. I've got to find a copy of that, um, and possibly two copies of it, the original and VHS tape, for that, since it was back in the 80s when that came out. And so a VHS tape, a DVD, and the whatever anniversary edition that it is, like the 40th anniversary or whatever, of that movie. So that way I've got it all covered because it's a great movie. It's just like with The Hobbit, the cartoon, um, all those good things. There's just nostalgia to it all. Things that we watched as kids and TV shows and movies and stuff like that you just don't see anymore. Like Roy said, the good old days without mayo or Miracle Whip. You're welcome. I know he's got a big smile on his face with that Brillo pad in hand. All right. So, how are you guys doing out there? Seriously, how are you guys doing? This week is our second week of working out. This will be day, what is it? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Today's Wednesday, day 4. So today is core. Is that right? Because we did legs yesterday. So today is core. Is that Sunday is arms and upper chest. Monday is back. Wednesday is today, so that's core day. Is that right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday was leg day. So Wednesday or Tuesday was leg day. Wednesday, what is today? I don't know. I have to look. Somebody's a smarty pants today. Oh. I do have my smart pants. Speaking of smart pants. Somebody, and this could be a totally made up thing, but someone is supposedly suing Smart Water because it didn't make them smart. Oh, come here, you motherfucker! And if that's a true thing, you're stupid in the first place for buying a $3 water. And you're stupid in the second place if you believe that line that Roy just put in there. Because he's a Lackers fan. That's why he likes his Miracle Whip with his Brillo pad and the motion, if you know what I mean. Especially since his favoriteest player in the whole wide world, see, I can't even say that. LJ, let's go that way, carries a big man purse with certain items inside that he got from the Diddy party. So, and used at the Diddy party. So there you go. That's just the type of person that Roy is. He loves that kind of thing. So, you are correct. The Oklahoma City Thunder did win for the first time against the San Antonio Spurs. Everybody thought they were going to lose again because the Spurs have had their number this season. But they stomped them. Didn't even let them score 100 points last night. So that was exciting. I didn't watch the whole game. I didn't even watch any of the game. I watched a little bit of the scores coming across, and it was a very close game in the first half. And then after that, Thunder just took over as they normally do and blow out their opponents. So that was exciting. All right. So, but if you've ever bought Smart Water, go ahead and sue them if you didn't get any smarter. Especially spending like $3 to $4 a bottle of water for Smart Water, which is not smart at all. -4 degrees. That's awesome, Casey. I honestly wish we had that here right now. I do. I seriously do. Now my office would be cold as fuck, because there is no heat source except for this. Let me just show you what I've got. This is my heater for in here, right here. My little ceramic heater, and it is literally all of 7 inches tall, whatever that says right there. 6 inches tall. So there you go, 6 inch ceramic heater. And somebody said something derogatory, Roy, and it was filtered out there. So there you go. That's my little 6 inch heater for in here. And that's what keeps this place warm during the wintertime. And I would love to have that -4 degree weather right now, to be honest, with snow, included. If it's going to be -4, there better be some fucking snow here too, especially about a 4 to 5 foot snow pack out there, because that would be awesome. Um, because yeah, right now we're sitting at 52 degrees. Now this week we're supposed to drop temperature. Gotcha, motherfucker. This week we're supposed to drop temperatures. We're supposed to be in the 20s overnight lows, and then we're supposed to be in the 40s and 50s for the rest of the week. Friday next Friday we're supposed to be getting some rain, some weather, but no snow because it's going to be like 60 something degrees and raining. So go figure on that. So I'm ready for the snow, and I know we're going to get a little bit. What up, Willie? Nice to meet you and have you here from Richmond, Virginia. Awesome. I haven't been there yet. That's one of the states I have not been to yet. And thank you for joining again, Roy. What are you doing with your Miracle Whip over there? Just stay here. Yeah, it's 52 degrees here right now. I'm looking at the thermostat. We are in well, I am in Arkansas. Roy's in Arkansas. Casey's up in Maine. So we're from all over the place. So right here we are in Arkansas, where it's 52 degrees in the middle of winter. But like I said, this week we're supposed to drop into the 20s. Um, and I think the lowest we're getting this week overnight is like 21 degrees. So I'm gonna have to put some heat lamps underneath my house again, so I don't have any burst pipes, or just keep the water flowing, one or the other. And but yeah, no, that -4 degrees I would love. To be honest, I would love it. And getting a lot of new people showing up on here, which is awesome. I appreciate you guys stopping in. Don't forget to like, share, and follow as you do get here. Because if you do follow me, I will follow you back. That what is that? What did you just say, Roy? I'm sorry, I don't speak that language. What is that? Did you say something about a luau and a barbecue? Because that's the only thing a pig is good for. Now I don't know. Now some of you might not know. You can read, buddy. Yeah, it says luau and barbecue. That's all I see. I mean, I don't understand the rest of it. I don't speak that language. I guess. Um, I don't know if you guys ever remember Wizard magazine back in the day. It was a great comic book magazine. It had a little price guide in there from the comic book price guide, of course, and then it had a ton of different um, articles on creators and the industry and so on and so forth. Yep, you're right. Oklahoma Sooners, greatest college team out there. I get it, Roy. You're good. You're good. I'm glad you finally are turning from your dark ways and getting the help you need. Um, and they had a ton of cool stuff like Crash Course was in there. I wish I still had my magazines from back in the day because they were awesome. I had number one through who knows, I can't even remember how far I went into them, but they came sealed and they had cards inside of them, different cards and promotion items and stuff like that. Cool, and from different creators and different uh, companies, Marvel, DC, and stuff you'd never heard of before. And it was just awesome. I've got a whole binder of nothing but the cards and stuff that came in those magazines. And, it's just like, it's just nostalgia. All the stuff that you can get from your childhood and growing up, in your early 20s, into your 30s and things like that. Because I can't remember when Wizard Magazine finally went belly up. And it was sad when it did because it was just so much cool stuff. It was just kept you, it kept you integrated into the society of the comic book world, um, especially if you only bought comic books here and there on a not so regular basis, and so then you can get to see some of the new creators coming up and coming creators and stuff like that, and the huge article when Image Comics came out in the '90s and all that good stuff. I mean, it was just a fascinating magazine. If I could find them again and buy the entire collection, I probably would. It's like Roy with Playboy, you know, and um, he has almost every issue of Playgirl, and so it's kind of weird. But that's just how it goes with people out there, you know. So this is, I need to get it. I got some binders that I can replace this with. I gotta wipe off this dust because I haven't touched these things in a very, very long time. And so they're dusty. They're dusty. They're dusty. But this is the one that's got my Bob Hope autograph in it. Right there. True Bob Hope autograph. Right there. And then, of course, right there, the Sports Illustrated. Right there. Of the Cowboys from 1993. Right on Cowboys. Super Bowl MVP, Troy Aikman. It's got some debris down in there. Get rid of that stuff. All right. Right here was a fun little piece. This is, it's a sad but fun piece. Right here. I gotta pull this one out. This one's got my son in it, who's no longer with us. He did not want to get in the ring with gentleman Chris Adams in Hugo, Oklahoma, where this picture was taken when I had some long hair and a little goatee thing going on. But Chris Adams, gentleman Chris Adams, and my son right there, he didn't want to get in the ring with him. And so I had to hold him up and, doing the whole thumbs up thing right there. Yes, I always wear shorts, no matter what time of year it is. But that was cool. And it was a whole card for WWE or whatever they were called back in the day. Um, Championship Wrestling. Here's his autograph again, right here on the Championship Wrestling, 1994. Complimentary children's child's ticket. This was my son's. In Hugo, Oklahoma, Tri County Complex, right there, where my parents still live. But you had three main events. You had gentleman Chris Adams versus Iceman King Parsons with Barbosa or Barboose, the grudge match, Action Jackson versus Bad Boy Bobby Chase, and girls, Miss Tasha Simone versus the Naughty Girl. And then light heavyweight championship, Treach Phillips versus Cowboy Ed Robinson, plus Corporal Bubba Fangman versus Jimmy Jam James. $10 to go see all that action. Right there. Boom, boom, boom. So that was fun. I mean, it's very horrible in person to go watch a wrestling event, and it's just kind of, back then it was kind of super hokey because they weren't actually kind of really hitting each other at the time, and it was kind of sad. This is almost every book I ever produced back in the day. My own little publication called SSP Comics back in the day. And then we get into a lot of Dallas Cowboy stuff. Old nostalgia. Right there. Before you get into, this one is nothing but. Yeah, this one is nothing but Nolan Ryan and sports, Ultra Fleer, Dallas Cowboys, all that good stuff. That's all that's in that one. But the Bob Hope is what I was wanting to show you for the most part. Until I ran across my son's little thing there, and then we had to go there with it. But that's just nostalgia. Stuff that you get to see over years and you get to do. So don't take life for granted. Get out there and grab it by the horns and make it your. Nah, just grab life by the horns and go. If you have the opportunity to do something, do it. Make it happen. Because as we always talk about here, tomorrow's not promised. You know, um, the girlfriend just told me about a friend of hers that uh, I think she said she used to babysit as a kid, and he ended up getting into the Marines and all that good stuff. And she found out that he ended up taking his own life back in 2023, and she just found out about it this year. And he unfortunately just became one of those statistics of 22 a day. When it comes to military personnel, and that's near and dear to my heart since I am a Army veteran. And it doesn't matter what branch you served in; you're still brother or sister in arms. You know, I do not look at one service better than the other. We all have a job to do or had a job to do. And then once we get out, it's hard to get back into to the civilian society, if you will. Um, and that's where you end up having the 22 a day that decide they don't want to be here anymore, which is a sad state of affairs. And it's not just military, you know. About wrestling, Mid South had some of the best. Yeah, I mean, there was some great wrestling back in the day, back when all that was going on. I mean, the Von Erichs, you know, I mean, the list goes on and on from back in the day. Because that's whenever I really started watching it with my grandpa was when the Von Erichs was still wrestling, before they started doing what they did, And I've talked about it. I've talked about it. Bill Watts, ETV, even older Danny Hodge or Hodge, Danny Hodge. There was a ton of great wrestlers back in the day, and watching on TV, you didn't see it as super hokey because the angles and stuff like that they had, doing the filming and stuff like that on it. Um, but as it's gotten, further and further in to where it's entertainment, you know, uh, completely scripted, and because there's no way this person should have beat this person or stuff like that. He smashed apples with his hands. I can do that. Yeah. Or is he doing this number? You know. Now, if he smashed watermelons with his face, that'd be cool. That's a Roy. That's a Roy trick. He wrestled a bear. Yes, I remember him. I remember that guy. Some classic images right there floating around in here rent free. I remember that guy. Yep. Probably one of the only people that has wrestled a bear, a true bear, when it came to wrestling. Um, Everybody else just wrestles bears in the ring. Um, and if you get that statement, you get that statement. So, um, but yeah, no, the wrestling has just changed so much, and I don't even watch it anymore. I get a lot of friends that still watch it and still love it and all that stuff, and and it's just like I just don't see how you can watch it anymore. Um, been a wrestling fan since the '80s. Keeper Arena, Kansas City, Missouri. Awesome, very cool. Umbra Chroma Studios. Cool name. But yeah, no, once probably about early 2000s is when I stopped watching wrestling completely. Because, like I said, I used to watch with my grandfather, and we watched it on a religious basis. I mean, it was like them watching my grandparents watching their soap operas, Days of Our Lives, Guiding Light, General Hospital. You know, that was their main three before they started watching, um, Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune and things of that nature. And then the news. They always had to watch the news. I've been watching wrestling since the '60s. Now it's boring Hollywood. I mean, and like I said, and a lot of people still love it today because of the entertainment value. Um, but I haven't watched a wrestling match. I mean, I've flipped past some channels and stopped for a minute and watched a couple of smacks and hits and leg drops and stuff like that, and it's just like I'm done and go on. It just doesn't hold my fascination like it did back when I was watching it with my grandfather. like I said, the 80s until, like I said, the early 2000s. And here at Lake of the Ozarks, we had Harley Race Wrestling School till it moved to St. Louis. I got you. And you're which Ozarks are you guys in? Are you in? I'm trying to think because the Ozarks run all over the place. Because we're in Arkansas here, we have part of the Ozarks down here, um, and then through Oklahoma, Missouri. Okay, okay, yeah. There's a lot of cool ones out there. There's a lot of local wrestling that happens here in the Arkansas area um, that I know several people from in there. Santiago Cirillo is one of them that is part of a local wrestling group in Arkansas, but he lives in Tennessee. And so he does it in Tennessee and Arkansas. The big man made lake. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. I know where that lake is. I've been up in Missouri several times through the military and then with, unfortunately, Wally World when I worked for them for nearly 10 years. The Ouachita Mountains. Very cool. Yeah, they're not too far from us. I need to get out there because crystals. I'm a big crystal guy. Crystals and rock hunter. I got all kinds sitting over here. Two shelves full, a shelf getting started back over here on this bookshelf that I just put in behind me, plus all the crystals that we go to the crystal mines and dig up on a regular basis. We need to go hit one again soon. Oklahoma is the best. Best to move from. LOL. Long live home. Yes, long live home. And I mean, you always have that opportunity to move back, get out of that -4 degree weather. But no, where you are, Casey, is a great place. I wouldn't move from there to save my life if it came down to it. Um, Again, like I keep talking about, I just need to go to Alaska. I mean, get it over with. Yes, and everything can be said about any state. You know, there are certain charms to different states. Now, just like in Oklahoma, you got the Great Salt Plains. Nothing charming about that. Um, just a big white field. And then you got Kansas that's perfectly flat, you know. Yes, America completely is beautiful, and so are other countries, And like I said, when I touched down in certain countries on the way to Afghanistan, um, you could see a little bit of the beauty outside the windows, but again, it was dark, so we didn't get to see the great beauty of all these places. Ireland, Germany, Newfoundland, places like that. Even Maine, I didn't get to see the beauty. Um, because again it was dark, we could only see what the lights outside of the airport showed us, you know and so those are some of the places I would love to go back to, the places that we landed at, on the way to Afghanistan. Now I can forego uh, uh, going back to the sand dunes over there, but to hit those other ones, Newfoundland, Germany, Ireland, those places like that, I would love to go back to those. Maine is so few people, it's overwhelming in the power of solitary dwelling. I get that. You guys end up with a tourist season, right? Because people go up there looking for Cabot Cove. Thanks, Murder She Wrote. And just like any other place, yes, mainly on the coast and big cities. Okay, cool. See, I would go to the smaller cities and stuff like that and see if there's any cool antique stores or places like that just to go chill at and see what the history what the history would be in those little towns. So Canadians coming and going. See, that's kind of funny, especially when you see the no re-entry signs going into Canada. It's like, so how am I supposed to get back to where I'm going if I can't re-enter? You know, I can't just do a UE right here. I'm yours forever, Canada. And see, that's the bad part about Canada being right where it is. That you have to have a passport if you're going to Alaska, unless you take a boat and bypass Canada altogether. You know, and yeah, I know the passport. No way other. Yes. So it's just Canada just needs to be part of the United States. I mean, let's just move it in. Let's just make it our brother and sister and give it a big hug and let it join, the United States. Yes, I've heard. I mean, that's why they've got their signs. I mean, everywhere that you can access Canada through. And then the roving bear patrols where they're on their polar bears, right at the border, you know, going up and down on their polar bears, with their tasers. That's made up, folks. That's made up. They don't have polar bears. They've got saber-tooth tigers. Oh, but I'm looking forward to doing some new stuff. I got some ideas. I got to pull out some more of my blank sketch covers to draw on as well. I've got some marinating going on up here. Appreciate the likes, the shares, and the follows. Again, if you are coming here, don't forget to like, share, and follow, and I will follow you back. Now, again, let me reiterate. If you've got one picture, you're relatively new, I'm probably not going to follow you back. Just saying. Because 90% of the time, if you don't have any pictures or one picture or three pictures in your bio and all that stuff where your stuff is at, you're most likely a fake account. Okay? If you can't use a picture of yourself, not Casey, I know who Casey is. Um as your profile picture and all that stuff, or if it's just blank, 90% of the time I'm not going to follow that either. Just because, hint hint, most likely fake account. All right. Um but if you're legitimate, you've got some followers, you've got this, you've got that, you've got, you know, all kinds of cool stuff going on in your bio and stuff like that, I'm most likely going to follow you. All right? Because that's what I do. Now, I do a huge purge later on. If, you know, I followed somebody that didn't follow me back, I usually end up taking them off, a month or two later down the road. I do a big purge, 300 people at a time when I do a purge. Just because you're not benefiting my channel by not ever showing up here and, interacting. I'm close to 5,000 followers right now, which is pretty cool. I don't know exactly where I'm at as far as that. I was over like 46 or 4,800 people, I think, somewhere in that range. I could be less than that if I remember. I don't know. My memory, I can't remember because I don't look at that on a regular basis. I look at it periodically, and it's just like, okay, cool, we're creeping up on 5,000. Awesome. So we're trying to hit that 10,000 mark, so that would be cool. You know, I doubt we'll hit it this year, but it could be a few more years down the road. You never know. I could blow up overnight. So there are a few opportunities in the works that if they come true, it will be exciting and amazing. Um, and they're outside of TikTok and everything else. So I am looking at big possibilities out there. Um, and if they come to fruition, it's going to be very lucrative. Let's put it that way. Um, Not like I'm set for life, lucrative, but it would help out. So that's what we're looking for on that note. Um, Absolutely, because they were brushing that one tooth. That's why it's called a tooth brush, not a teeth brush. And it probably started with a piece of corn cob. I don't know. I mean, I know that it was started here in Arkansas. I don't know how it was invented or started and all that good stuff, but somebody deemed it necessary, and they were right. That's why breath mints were invented too. So halitosis, halitosis. But yeah, no, it's exciting times right now. I'm looking forward to it, to the stuff that is heading my direction, and that way, hopefully, I can pay it forward, a little bit more than I have in the past, and maybe one of these days I'll be like one of those creators you see that are getting people houses or cars that truly need it and things like that, because that would be cool. And they work on donations as well because they have their followers that are like, hey, we see what you're doing. Here's X amount of money, in your account, to use towards that person that you're trying to help, and that would be awesome because the world needs more of that, you know. And I turn on any news channel, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, any social media, any platform out there that you're watching, you're going to find some negative out there on a regular basis. And we want to spread the cheer. We want to spread the fun stuff, not the crap. 3 binders down there of nothing but cards, old cards from back in the '90s and stuff like that. Autographs, all that goody good stuff. Plus, not to mention all of the Wizard magazine cards and different things that they came out with from back in the day. So that's the exciting stuff. When it comes to that, is all that nostalgia, like I was talking about. What do you remember as a kid? What are some of the fun things you remember as a child, other than beating a tire with a stick? You know, he probably did. He's probably back with his mayonnaise, um, his Miracle Whip, uh, his Miracle Whip. I mean, if Roy's here, he's probably got Miracle Whip covered all over his body right now, and he can't work his phone because it's slippery. So, Roy, are you still here? Are you still with us, or did you go jump onto somebody else's live that has less of a shirt on and no bra? We'll wait for that reply because I haven't seen him on here in a hot minute, and the last time he bounced off and then bounced back on. So, if I had to guess, he probably is watching some half-dressed female out there on TikTok right now. Oh, look, he is still here. Well, we were trying to get that little guy out of the woodworks right there. And there you are. See, Casey was asking about you. And you were being all like, oh, uh, mm, Miracle Whip, Oh, Roy. Roy's got a birthday coming up here pretty soon. How many days away, Roy? Like 7 days away? Earlier, I checked the temperature outside, gents. Oh, is that what they call those nowadays? I mean, I guess they would tell you the temperature, huh? It's cold outside. I was watching Alone, and they're in like Vancouver Isle, and one of the guys they ended up being the winner. It was season one. I'm just rewatching them in the background noise, and it was like it's so cold my boobies could cut glass right now. He said nipples, but some people get offended with that type of stuff, just like the word moist and things like that. How old are you going to be? He said he's going to be like 29 years old. I said that was a pair of underwear that he has. Is 29 years old. But you know, he's going to be the same age as I am, just earlier than I am, just because he was born in January, or so his birth certificate says. He was actually born in a leap year, so he's only literally like 29 years old. So, um, uh-huh. There you go. 55 years old. And still taking a bath in Mountain Dew with a straw. It's kind of gross, Roy. You got to quit that. 55 years old, still in a bathtub of Mountain Dew with a straw. That's gross. One of them big pixie stick straws that has the powder dust inside. So, what do you guys remember a nostalgic item as a kid? A pixie stick straw, man. Those things are like this big around, and they're the purplish color on the outside with the white. Oh, a curly straw could do too. Yeah, that would be fun. Because you get to watch it. Whatever shape of you got in your curly straw. Yeah, but it's kind of gross that it's the Mountain Dew's your bath water, and you're drinking it. So I mean, I know some people pay for people's bath water, which is again weird in my opinion. I mean, I don't even know what you wanted, or no, I'm not even going there. Um, yeah, don't make an Oklahoma bubble bath. Absolutely not, or a sauna. You know, yeah, it's just weird, Roy. That's just weird, man. But Roy does some weird stuff over there on his own. He does some weird stuff, you know. But we love him anyway. We love you, Roy. We love you. What up? Howdy again, Ballerina. Welcome back to the broadcast booth. Now, Ballerina goes live. She does probably a little more seriousness than I do on her shows. She's still in her Mardi Gras phase right now. Since it runs through February, what'd you say, 17th? None of that relates to me. Whatever, dude. Whatever. Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper Bass. I'm back on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Very cool. So if you want to check out another channel when I'm not alive, when I'm not live, you can go check out Ballerina's channel. She talks about some cool stuff. You can check out her channel anyway. Go check her out, follow her, and just listen to what she has to say. She's got some pretty cool, interesting things. Now, she does have some personal stuff that happens that she posts on there, and that's cool. I mean, we all do that periodically, time to time, and you know, uh, it's drama. Everybody loves drama. That's why they watch Law and Order, SVU, and other shows like that. But Ballerina, I hope you do get some success on your side. I don't know how many followers you do have. Um, Enough that you can go live, so that's awesome. Um, and like I said, I'm trying to reach that 10,000 mark. I'm almost at the halfway point, so that's exciting. And I've been doing this for several years, uh, technically since I got a divorce. Been on here on this platform, um, and it didn't take long to get a good following to where I could go live, and so that was exciting and fun. So I have over 2,600 followers and friends. Awesome. See, and that's here too. I have a lot of friends that follow me, but they don't talk to me. They follow. I don't know what they do with the information. I don't give a shit. But um, because I'm just going to be me. And I know a lot of the friends that have followed have wanted to see me fall, but that isn't happening. You know, and in fact, I'm thriving more than I ever did married. So let's just put it that way. So there you go. So those of you that wish my downfall, it ain't happening. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be raw. I will say what the fuck I want to say on my broadcast channel. And if you don't like it, you can take a hike. I mean, that's how it goes. You know, if you don't like talking about comic books, comic book artwork, my comic book artwork, my paintings, horror movies, sci-fi movies, things of that nature, this ain't the channel for you. All right. We shoes wobble, but don't fall down. Yes, we will wobbles, but they don't fall down. Yes, he's right up there. My 1976 Weeble Wobble. Monty, you have a 4509 followers. Okay, cool. So see, I'm less than 500 away from having 5,000 followers. So that's exciting. Um, and I appreciate that, Roy. I don't even know however many I have on a regular basis. And and I know that Roy creeps my profile because it informs me whenever people creep my profile. So and such and such just viewed your profile. Such and such just viewed your profile. Awesome. Go stock it, motherfuckers. I don't care, And it's just funny the people that wish your downfall, and you see them pop up on your notification that says, "Hey, such and such just viewed your profile." It's just like, oh, cool. I bet they're looking to see that I'm over here crying in a corner with my thumb up my nose, you know, wasting away. But that's not the case. In fact, I'm gaining some muscle again. So I am a little sore right here, right here, and up there in the shoulders. That's the worst part is the shoulder area when you're working it and all that good stuff. I am taking progression pictures as well, folks. Not much has changed, other than you can see a little bit more definition in this area right here and in the legs a little bit. Um, Pushing about 300 pounds on the leg area at this present juncture. Um, it's not great for my knee. Yes, 22.1 thousand likes on your radio channel and your Facebook channel right here, where you can see my face and the books behind me. Right there. Literal books right there. That's just a few. And so, but yeah, no, I'm feeling good. We're both feeling good, actually, when it's coming to the workout. The first week, it was sucked. I, it's just the only way you can do it. The only way you can say it. Elvis has left the building. No, he's still right here. He hasn't left the building until I get the t-shirts in, and then I autograph them, and I'll probably do them here because I should be getting them in. What is today? The 14th. I should be getting them in either today, sometime today, or the next live. And it would be after the next live if they don't come in on the 15th. But I should be getting them in here in the next 3 or 4 days. And I will show them to you because basically they are this painting right here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to touch up this painting before he gets it. But he did purchase this, you know. No, come back, Elvis. You know Elvis is dead, right? Elvis ain't dead, son. He's up on a spaceship somewhere. He was picked up and taken home. So there you go. But yeah, no, and I'm going to show you those shirts when they come in. Absolutely 100%. And, but no, it's life comes at you fast and hard, right? Bob Joyce, LOL. Well, the interesting fact about all of that, with the whole Elvis thing, and let me get this puzzle piece out of the way for Mount Kilimanjaro, is that it's just like with Billy the Kid. people still saw him or thought they saw them later on in life, you know? And and it's just like Michael Jackson. There are sightings of people that say, well, he changed his face and all this stuff and this could be him and all that good stuff. But you've got all these different theories that these people actually didn't pass away at the time and they lived their life as someone else. And those are your conspiracy theories. And now some of them could be true. Um, and you've got the modern day conspiracy theories and things like that that could may or may not be true for certain different aspects and things like that. I don't think Michael Jackson or Elvis would groove with Michael Jackson. You never know. There could be a whole lot of that ebony and ivory going on, you know. Thanks, Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson. But no, so many different things you can look at. You can take with a grain of salt, you know. Yes. Well, according to the Inquirer, there's a secret love child between Travolta and Presley right now that no one knows about, except now that the Inquirer has thrown it out there in our faces. Because everything the Inquirer posts is true, right? Or so my mother thought. She used to buy those things religiously. It was quite humorous. And I just read them and laughed a lot. But now I look back on them and it's just like, they're getting their information from somewhere. Maybe the Grinch. But who knows? I mean, but you do have a lot of conspiracy theories out there when it comes to different celebrity, passings and things like that. Um, it's just like with Cornell and uh, Bennington, dying in a hotel room, same day, years apart, so on and so forth. I had the inquiry of Elvis, fake body uncover. Well, there you go. See, um, but yeah, I mean, he could be on a UFO somewhere. We don't know, or he could have just lived out his life in Hawaii. Where he got where he loved to go. So, yeah, I would love to be in Hawaii right now too. Hawaii is a fun place. I mean, like I said, Hawaii is just a fun place, and it was exciting. I loved it, and I need to go back, just because, you know. And when was this thing made? Honolulu, Hawaii. When was it made? Oh, 2006. So there you go. And I was there. So I was basically there 2 years after this book was made. That body wasn't him. Come on. But did he die? That's the question. Like I said, a lot of people claim they saw him years after his passing. And just like people have claimed they've seen, Michael Jackson still today. Um, so it's just questions. Just questions. We all have questions about certain conspiracy theories that we hear. It's just like when people talk about haunted houses and ghosts and things like that. If you haven't seen it for yourself, you don't believe. You know, you've got your skeptics out there, just like Bigfoot sightings. If you haven't seen them for yourself, you don't believe. Just like UFOs or aliens, if you haven't seen for yourself, you don't believe. You I've shown enough evidence here for paranormal items that if you don't believe still, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Um, Now I can't show you any Bigfoot footage, even though I've seen I can't show you any UFO footage, even though I've seen the UFOs. And I've seen multiples, not just one or two here and there. I've probably seen upwards of about 30 UFOs. I've seen one Bigfoot in my life so far, and that was not too long ago in reality. Elvis, Michael Jackson, and Prince partying in Hawaii. Let's go join them, fellas. Yeah, they're having a nice luau on some pigs. Barbecue with pineapple. Not even. Elvis and Prince. Prince couldn't stand competition. No, it's Elvis and Ozzy together again for the first time. Now that would be an interesting combination of a collaboration song. That would be interesting. I can almost hear it now. Doing some barbs. Oh, I'm sure they would be doing something around the 420 side, but but no, I mean there's some collabs that you would love to hear that you're never gonna hear. Um, and I'm not talking about Lady Blah Blah and all of her stuff that she does with all the collaborations. There's some decent ones in there, but her voice is just grating sometimes. Made him paranoid. Yes, and it makes a lot of people paranoid, unfortunately. But other people it calms down, nicely and puts them to sleep. So if you're one of those people that it makes paranoid, and if you know what we're talking about with 420, which you should by now, being an adult, um, which sucks. Um, why? Do it for recreational purposes. Don't just do it for medical purposes. You ain't got glaucoma, dude. I eat and sleep. See, there you go. If you do 420, more power to you. I have no issues with it. Um, it should be legal everywhere. 100%. Um, and why certain states don't want to, well, that's why he did the 420. Uh, even though it made him paranoid. That's why, I mean, and every state should have it. Make it legal. Just get it over with. And then crack down on all the other shit that we don't need. That you don't need. Uh, because that's how crackheads are made. And if you know, you know. There's TikTok videos on those too. Uh, it's humorous, but it's sad at the same time because those people will never get the help they need. You know. Uh, but then we're all over here laughing about it. You know, because we're just cruel like that as a human race. You see a kid fall down with his popsicle or ice cream and it goes everywhere and he's crying and you're laughing and then you're like, okay, let me get you, let me get you another ice cream. Hold on. Tough boy to take that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any hard schmug that you do end up ingesting into your body, be it schmack or crystal or smocaine or, you know, schmeroin, those type things. Um, all of that, if you're taking that stuff, more power to you. And if you can walk upright, you know, even better, I guess, because there's, I've never put anything like that in my body. I tried cigarettes as a kid, didn't last. I thought I was going to die. The only time I got a 420 was when I was at the Guns N' Roses concert. A group of Indians, Native American Indians, sat in front of us, and they were puff puff passing, and we got contact high. So after the show, we went to Taco Bell, you know, and because we got the munchies. I'm glad I avoided all that. And I knew kids in high school that were peddling this stuff, you know, and so many high time people from the magazine. Just kidding. Um, were walking around school with it, you know, and it wasn't just the MJ stuff and not Michael Jackson. Um, but the schmocaine, the schmeroin, those type things. It was readily available, You know, if you had the money, they had the product. You know, and it was sad. And most of these people were your jocks. You know, double up on the munchies. Extra black olives and sour cream. Do they even put black olives in any of the Taco Bell anymore? Their meat is just so bland when it comes to Taco Bell. And I know people will be like, no, it's not. It's just the best tacos out there. It's the best taco spot out there. No, give me Taco Mayo over Taco Bell. But it's just too far away. Yeah, I mean, a lot of fast food places suck now. And especially whenever you're starting to cut that stuff out of your diet. And it's sad that you have to say it's in your diet in the first place. Fast food places. Um, it's just like I'm okay with it. You know, save you some money. Um, well, I mean, you can DoorDash it there, Roy. So go ahead and get you a DoorDash going on right now. They're open. You can get you some right now. I do my own cooking meat. Oh, that could be taken so many ways. And those of you just joining us, I'm sorry that it can be taken so many ways. Um, but yes, but no, you have some pretty exotic meats when it comes to the bear, the kangaroo, and things like that. And again, I'm going to order some of that stuff. I just haven't had the opportunity to do it yet. Um, but here pretty soon, I'm going to start ordering some of that stuff that you sent me the link for. So that's pretty cool. The girlfriend's on the fence with some of it. So Brahms is not great. Sorry, Roy. Especially your number 5 with nothing on it except for mayo and mustard. So I can do that funky stuff with the mayo. Too expensive. Everything's too expensive. I mean, just look at, say, 10 years ago, going to McDonald's or Brahms and getting a meal. You could feed a family of 4 on what you're buying one meal for today. I mean, let's just get real. And no, you need to have your vegetables, dude. Oh, I like my vegetables, but I don't eat them. I'll I'll eat my French fries. That's a vegetable with a ton of ketchup where I can't see the vegetable. No, dude, you got to cut back on all that shit. You want to live past 55 or 255? Start cutting some of that shit out. You can never go wrong with Brahms. You can. You literally can. The grease. They've thrown it on the floor. They've licked the meat. They've put it in their armpits. I mean, why do you think they have movies about this stuff? I mean, there's even TikTok videos out there. Just like, um, what's the cookie company um, that just came out that the chick in Florida was taking her shoes off and putting her feet on the cookie trays that they cooked their cookies on, and that went viral. And we have one here in town in Fort Smith area. No, not Nabisco. Um, no, it's a local cookie company that's everywhere. Um, it's like Crumble Cookie, but it's not Crumble Cookie. It's the other one. Um, Crap, what the hell is it called? But anyway, it shows her a dude is filming, and they've got all these cookies on the counter, and he's filming this worker who's got her shoe off, and she's in a sock, but still it's nasty. But she's got it resting on one of the cookie trays that they cook the cookies in, and and it went viral. I mean, even it's on the news everywhere. Not Oreo cookies, but those places are bad enough because if they let X amount of roaches and bugs into the food. Just so you know. I just puked in my mouth. Gag. But yeah, I can't remember what the company is right now. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, man. I'm gonna pull it up because it's pissing me off that I can't remember. And if anybody else is on here that knows the story I'm talking about, it's all over TikTok right now as well, or at least on my feed anyway. since I liked one video, and then all of a sudden that's all you get anymore. Come on, you slow mother pumper. There you go. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Come on, little engine. Come on. Come on, little engine. Dun dun dun. Bum bum bum. What are they called? I can't remember. Oh, it is crumble cookie. Okay. So I was right. It was crumble cookie. I should have just went with my gut. So crumble cookie is the one, and they're all over the place. And it's a national franchise. It's everywhere. And so an employee was filmed placing her bare foot, which was a socked foot, so they're lying right there already, on a tray used for prepping the cookies. So, and it's everywhere. You can look it up. It's and people are out and on, and not just in this spot in Florida. Instacart has horror stories of messing with orders with funk. So crumble cookie, you're getting a bad rap right now, and it's sad because people love their cookies. So now, what's going to happen? Is the CEO going to come on and be like, "No, that's a one-off incident, and we don't have that going on at any of our other stores." Well, how the fuck do you know? If it's happening there, and this person has their foot on the prep tray, how many others are doing the exact same thing? How many people are doing worse to those trays? And that's why they make movies and documentaries about this type of stuff. Food prep industries and companies like Nabisco and so on and so forth. And they need cameras, but who is to watch? Yeah, exactly. I mean, as long as they're making their money hand over fist, they don't care. Um, I mean, it's just like many other of your other companies out there. As long as they're making their money, they don't give a shit what's going on in the store. They say they do. That's why they have all their rules and regulations. But as long as they're making their money, I don't care. And that's a sad state to be in. That money is, is the leading factor in anything. And but you see it all the time. I mean, the money is the root of all evil, right? Brush it under the rug. Yes, absolutely. And it happens all the time. And not just in crumble cookie, you know. I saw another one of a small fajita company, not company, but they're a restaurant. And you see this woman, and they've got a camera right over the table of that section, shooting down the line of tables, and where you can see the aisle, so they can monitor their workers and stuff like that. You see this woman take a hair out of her bunned up head and hand it to her husband, sit it over close to him, and then you see him pick it up, put it on his fork, roll it up, and then he starts waving his hand. Hey, hey, hey. And they come over and they're like, number one, we don't have any women that work in our cooking area. Number two, none of the men have long hair. Number three, none of them have blonde hair because they're of Hispanic descent. So, and again, no women, no long hair. There you go. Oh, is Roy out? Is he going to go play with his mayo jar? His Miracle Whip jar? How cute. Bye, Roy. Go enjoy that Miracle Whip. It's okay, little feller. Or are you going to go to bed with it in your arms and be like, oh, I love my Miracle Whip? But, they busted them out right then and there. Because they're like, well, we're not going to comp you. So, you're trying to get a free meal on us, and it ain't happening because we got the video footage. So congratulations for being a dumbass, number one, for doing it right under camera view. You know, absolutely, and you see it all the time where people will pull that shit just to try and get a free meal. You know, and it doesn't happen so much now, I guess, but it used to happen all the time, especially before cameras became relevant in the restaurants and things like that. But it's just ridiculousness that what links people will go to for their own gain, you know, and there's no sense in it. Just pay your shit and go on. But yeah, no, it's amazing what this world is coming to anymore. But it is what it is on that token. If you have the moral compass of a slug or a rock, okay, go for it. But if you have a higher moral compass, then do the right thing. Is what it boils down to. Don't forget to like, share, and follow as you are here. And I will follow you back again unless you've got like no pictures, not a picture of yourself, not even a profile picture, period, where it just has a little grayed out image, in there of where a person should be, which is just idiotic in its own right. Now, I do have some friends that do have that where they just got the little grayed out box because they don't use this platform very often. And they just created it, and then create it. And then they posted a few pictures on there, family type stuff and things like that. So, and I get that, and that's why they're still on my friends list. Um, but I have to double check those, to make sure that they're not a banned account because 90% of the time you find one of those, it's a banned account, that used to follow you or was friends with you at some point in time. Be self-reliant and don't give them the way in to be nasty with your stuff. Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why you know unfortunately, you have to always have that in the back of your mind. Well, what did they do to my food? You know, in the prep area. Because if you've ever seen the movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds, that pretty much sums up what happens in the restaurant industry. And it ain't pretty if you haven't seen it. So, Jay and Silent Bob are coming back for another round, another movie. It's already been confirmed by Kevin Smith, so that'll be exciting. A lot of new horror movies are coming out this year. Um, I saw a trailer for The Mummy, not like um, what's his face? Brendan Fraser. Excuse me. Not that series, but there is another one of those confirmed. The Mummy 4, I believe. But this is a different Mummy, and it looks really good. Looks interesting to say the least. I can't say it looks really good because the trailer leaves you in suspense. Um, and but it looks decent. And then there's a lot of other ones that I saw a TikTok for, and they look pretty interesting as well. There's a new Dracula movie coming out. I think in April, I believe is when it's coming out, like April 17th or something like that. But a lot of there's a lot of people that are looking forward to that one. There's another Dracula movie out there that came out last year or the year before. That is more of a true love story drama than it is a horror movie, which most Dracula movies are supposed to be if they're based off of the true Dracula, a romantic, blood soaked foundry. But yes, I'm curious on the Mummy myself. Yeah, that one it looks interesting, and so I'm hoping that it is good. Just like I'm hoping some of these on this list is good, because I have to take what other horror fanatics say when it comes to these movies, because some of the ones that they think are great, I thought were crap. like match. It had potential to be great, but it wasn't. Not at all. Um, and so I have to take what other channels say about horror movies with a grain of salt. I guess I'm into the more hardcore stuff, when it comes to a good horror movie. Um, so when I watch some of these, I'm going to just have to, you know, take them with a grain of salt and see if they're good or not. I'm not saying that some of the stuff that they've recommended in the past haven't been good. It's just not great, you know. Like back in the 80s and 70s and 80s, there was a lot of great movies. A lot of people that see them now are like, "Well, that's just totally stupid," you know. Anne Rice is my style on horror movie. Awesome. Are you watching the new series, The Interview with the Vampire, that's on like AMC? I'm just curious. I've heard a lot of good things about it. That it's the closest adaptation to her book, even more so than the movie. So I'm wanting to check that out. And I know the book is a slow burn, which, like I said, I've got it sitting right here. Look at how young she looked right there. And this is the first print of this book, the book club edition, with its dust cover still intact. 1976, right there. A novel by Anne Rice, Interview with a Vampire. So, you can see it does have a little defect right there and down here. But that happens to your book covers. Now the book is in great shape. There's a couple little spine ticks and wears and things like that. But all in all, it's a great book right there. Dun, dun, dun. A great, great book all the way around. And why a dust cover? So you can mark your page. So you don't have to have a bookmark in there. I was today years old when I found that out. I believe it's on AMC. I could be wrong on that, but I think it's AMC. Um, Let me get this pulled back up again. I'll tell you, because I have no problems with that. Everybody doing okay out there? We're an hour and 30 minutes into the show. Let's see. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. AMC and AMC Plus, yeah. So there's already 2 seasons out there. You can also get it on AMC Plus and Netflix. You can catch up on Netflix, and then the new season streams summer of this year, season 3, on AMC and AMC Plus. But whenever season 3 comes out, all I did was hit more. What the fuck? When the new season comes out, it's going to be the Vampire Lestat instead of Interview with the Vampire. So it will have a different name when it comes out. From Interview with the Vampire to Interview with the Vampire to the Vampire Lestat. And then it goes into a deeper dive into Lestat. De Liancourt's perspective. Following the first 2 seasons focused on Louis de Pointe de Lourdes. Aiming for a summer 2026 premiere. There you go. But you can catch up on Netflix, and it is on AMC and AMC Plus and Netflix yet again. So there you go. So just a reminder that Interview with the Vampire is changing its name for season 3 to The Vampire Lestat. What's up, Leonardo? How's it going out there? Bum bum bum. Stranded on an island with 3 things. What would you bring? It's a tough call. Because would you bring another person to help you out with the things you need to do on the island to either get off or live peacefully with nobody else around? Um, it's a good question because you would need something to chop things with, but then you've only got 3 items. Now, granted, is a backpack one item with all the stuff that's already in the backpack? The list goes on and on. I mean, that's a tough question to answer. You know, but definitely a TV since you've got no plug. Um, let's see, a couch. There you go. Have a couch to sit in front of the TV that doesn't have a plug. Let's see, and a fridge that has no power. There you go. There's your 3 items. Oh, but there you go. So if you are interested in the Interview with a Vampire, it is on AMC, AMC Plus, and Netflix to do the catch up. And then season 3 will be re-entitled The Vampire Lestat with a deeper dive into Lestat right there. But that is it for that. Because, you know, there are a lot of cool stuff when it comes to horror movies and all of that good stuff out there. So just, if you find a good horror movie, let me know. Seriously, because I'm always on the lookout for something disturbing and um, creepy. I doubt it's going to keep me up at night, but that's just me. Um, I've seen plenty of disturbing stuff in real life uh, that I'm already messed up from that. So, from Afghanistan and all that good stuff. That horror movies don't keep me up at night. I'll watch one right before I go to bed, you know, and sleep perfectly fine. So there you go on that note. So, what are y'all doing out there? What's your week looking like? Since today is Wednesday, Wednesday the 14th, and the week is already pretty much over. You know, you're on what they call the hump day, and you're riding that coast down the hill now towards your weekend. Now, if you have to work on the weekend, I apologize. That sucks for you. I work 24/7, basically, 365 days a year, 7 days a week, because I homestead and I do illustration, paintings, things of that nature. Um, and so I never sleep. More time to sleep for me. Well, there you go, Casey. Hopefully, you do get some good sleep and some pick you up, some oomph. Have you ordered any of that stuff that we talked about that one day off that one site or off the recommendations that I sent you? That's something we haven't talked about. Um, sleep, sleep, sleep. And okay, cool. Has it come in already? Are you using it? Is it helping? Inquiring minds want to know. It helps to read. Okay, cool. I mean, as long as it helps, that's the main thing. So, um, and that's awesome. Very awesome. And I'm at that boat where it's just like I need to give it to all the animals in the house. to where they can sleep all night long and not wake us up because of this right here. And then why did I sound like Kermit the Frog here? The Rainbow Connection, and what's on the other side. But yeah, no. But I'm glad it's open. That's awesome. More power to you on that one. 420 recreational, but I don't want to veg out all the time. No, I get that, and you don't have to. I don't think. Um, do it periodically, and go with that. When you want, how you want, and as much as you want. You know, if it's a whole bowl, do it, man. Do it. Get you a big old hookah. There you go, and go that route. So, Big Red One, U.S. Army. Welcome to the show, bro, because we're bros. And sleep, sleep, sleep. I get that, and if it's truly helping you, I hope I'm glad. That's the main thing, because your peace of mind and your sleep and your rest and your recoup is important. Uh, and I truly mean that, because we've been friends for a short minute, but I need wild lettuce. Like I said, whenever this starts coming up, I'm going to see if it is what it is, if that's what's in my yard, because I get 5, 6, 7, 10 stalks at a time, in my yard all over the place. And if that's truly what it is, I mean, it does get about 6 foot tall. So, um, but I always thought it was a dandelion derivative, and it might be, but because that's what it kind of looks like, and I'm about to sneeze. And so, if that's what it is, I'll cultivate some and start making some some liquids out of it, and using them greens. Thank you. And using them greens in some salads and stuff like that, especially with the medicinal purposes that it does have. Um, so I will be looking forward to those on that note. But all right, folks, we are going to kill it for today. It's been a great show. I appreciate each and everybody stopping in, checking out the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and follow by hitting that follow button. Smash that follow button. And don't forget to hit the little bell so that way you know whenever I go live or drop a new post out there. And I'm going to start dropping more posts out there just because of the artwork and things like that, because Patrick Hickey is already sharing the artwork from the pictures that I'm sending him of the inking process and all that good stuff. So, without further ado, you all have been great. I appreciate y'all. Get you some rest. Drink you lots of water. Start cutting out sugars, all that good stuff. But you live the way you want to. I can't tell you what to do. You all have a great day. And as I like to say as I leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.